All right, enough of this, goddammit. I'm ready to get started. I need all this music. It's music and hullabaloo that the niggers like. You don't need all that, do you? You know. We can get started. What's happening? What's happening, people? How's everybody feeling? Let's see. Welcome to the first church. Holy shit. Glad to have you. Glad you're here. Why does my mouse stop working? Alright, keep the mouse. Ain't this a bitch? Oh, the goddamn. Wait a minute. I can't even click the shit up. Hold on. That goes there. That goes there. Take it out and put it back in. All right. There we go. I don't know what just happened just now. Just took my mouse. Took it out, put it back in. Bam. All right. Well. Does it freeze right there? I think it freezes right there. For some reason, it always freezes right there. All right. Well, we'll redo it. Get that shit out of here. All right. And we rolling. What's happening, Cortez? What's happening, Cousin Annis? Oh, the music was loud. I know, right? Yeah, my bad. How am I coming? How am I sounding? Can y'all hear me good? What's happening? What's happening, Zero? YouTube subscriber Wilt. We up in here. Welcome to the first church of Holy Shit. Where he am I, and I am, he is I, and I am him. In the words of the great poet laureate Snoop Dogg. I am honored to be here. I'm honored y'all came in here. It's a great day today. Birds is chirping. Look like spring done sprung. Today's strain is 50-50 to tits, baby, and Mullen. Oh, it's a great day. It's a great day. Let's change that. Yes. Love the intro. Love the intro, Giraffe Balls. As always, I think that says. And you sound good. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm in a good mood. We're gonna hurt some feelings today. It's just kind of usual around here, though. We kind of be hurting feelings, huh? We don't give a damn about feelings around here, huh? Huh, nephews and nieces. We really don't. We really could give a fiddler's fuck about your feelings around here. Feelings, whoa, feelings. I don't give a damn about them. So we gonna get into them. We gonna crunch them up and grind them down into a fine powder, and get off into some. We gonna get off into some hurtful shit today. To be honest with you, it's. I don't know. I don't know how people gonna take today's show. And to be honest with you, I don't have the latitude to give a shit. I sincerely do not have the latitude to give a shit. this is something, a subject that I think we have needed for a while. I think that we have been infected by, changed negatively as a people by. Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. It's a biggie. Shout out to Red Fox. This one's big. And I think that we're going to find that as we jump into this, we're going to have to look at ourselves a little deeper. We ain't going to have a choice but to look at us on this one. All right, Xylon. Hey, man. Good to see you. As usual, we start out with the wonderful saying that somebody fucked up and told me God was everywhere. So I pray from right here. Saves me 10%. I never miss a game. And I am glad that today you have decided to save 10% on your soul insurance by switching to Don't Go and coming here. Glad to have you here. Glad to take this time with you. Now, by the same token, GB Funny Style is a cash app. You want to throw nigga a little piece of change for doing something strange? Go right ahead. You need beats. JeffBreezeMusic@gmail.com. Life coaching? You really want to coach your life? You can watch my old videos for free. You really can figure it out. But if you want a personal touch that's going to really set your shit straight, you need to hit your Uncle Jeff up at AskUncleJeff@gmail and get on the calendar so we can untie some of these knots together. Okay. The difference between me and a therapist is that a therapist won't tell you where he fucked up in his life. He won't. He or she will not divulge to you personal shit about their life. I will. Just like an uncle would. Think of me as an uncle. That you got to pay for his time. But it's well damn worth it. As you can ask my clients with their time. Now bring you some tissue. We're going to get to it. If you do with me, we're going to get to it. Now, all that said, let's push this sumbitch on out in the water. All right? Bow your funky ass heads. Creator, we thank you. Father, Mother, God, Ancestors, Spirit, God who definitely exists, but with a name I know not, because in order to believe that you have a name of a certain type, I have to believe a man of a certain type. But I don't have to believe nobody to know how real you are. And I thank you. I thank you so much for your hand in my dealings, for protection when I come and go, for protection over my family. I thank you. Sorry, I get a little personal right now. I thank you. Thank you for my tribulations and my trials. They make me wiser and stronger as long as I learn. I thank you for the opportunity to be some type of voice of believability, some type of voice of understanding or spiritual link between them and you. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Sometimes this gift get on my nerves, but don't take it away. Don't take it away. Okay, I'm just honest. Sometimes some of this shit get on my nerves, Creator. Now, enough about me. No, don't be selfish. Let me learn something from people today. As well as I teach, let me learn. Let me be a vessel. Open me up and then get me the fuck out the way. Get me out the way. Don't have me on no ignorant shit with these people. None of my, let my ignorant shit get out the way. And send me a troll, please. There's been a troll drought. I don't know what that's about, but they scared. I don't know. Send a brave one. I like them. They keep my claws sharp. Let this message, as it comes from me and as it is viewed later, find the right heart. Let it find the right spirit. Let it course correct someone, even if that somebody was me. Let it correct. Let it be what it is. Help us, open us. Open our hearts and minds to you and to one another. I ask these blessings in the name of my ancestors, and in the name of a creator whose name I know not, but I love and respect. To my gods, I thank you. And it is so. Can I get a nigga amen? All right. Now, with that, now we smoke. I think that's going to be kind of funky. All right. All right. Just finished my first year of graduate school this past week. All right. Congrats, Will. What's the subjects? What's the subject? Let us know what the subject is. Yeah. We all proud of you, Cat Daddy. We all are proud of you. Congratulations, man. Oh, shit. Look who's on time. Look who's on time. Right. So, just slid in here right under the smoke. There, young Bruce. Where is it? Today's sermon, the envy junkies. The envy junkies. Now, this is not a super bash moment, but it's going to get funky in here. Okay? I'll tell you that right now. Because this is super personal to black folk. Okay. Envy as a drug. For black people, envy is a drug. Nazarene envy for black people, because of how much trauma we have been in. It's something we need. Now, let's look at the definition of envy. Envy, a feeling of discontent and resentment aroused by and in conjunction with desire for the possessions or qualities of another. A feeling of discontent and arousement, a feeling of discontent and resentment aroused by and in conjunction with the desire for the possessions or qualities of another. Think that through for a minute. Okay. It is the thin. Now, let's not confuse that with admiration. The thin line between admiration and envy is the difference between motivation or depression, which purely is about outlook. I'm going to say that again. Type that if you can, Zero. Get as close as you can to this. The difference between admiration and envy is how the person and their accomplishments or accoutrements or trappings or looks, you ain't got to write all that, or looks or whatever it is makes you feel. Does it make you want to bust your ass, or do it make you want to whoop their ass? That's the difference between admiration and envy, that thin line. And the only thing holding that line is your perception of reality and your sense of self. That's the only thing that holds that line. And it's a super thin one. It's thin. It does not it doesn't come down to it doesn't come down to some complex Boolean logic. It really is just about how that shit make you feel. And what you do when you feel it. What does it make? When you first get hit with it, the first time you get hit with envy, somebody's bike, somebody's sneakers, somebody's looks, somebody's girlfriend, somebody's toy, because I got to go back. Somebody relationship with their mama, somebody relationship with your mama. We got to go back to that so you can feel it. It's palpable for you. When you felt that, where did you put it? Did you put it in the I'm going to get that and work toward that pile, which is tough. That relationship with the relationship shit when you little. That's tough. More on that later. That's a whole nother show. Or did you put it in the I can't stand them calls pile? Or worse yet, I'm going to make somebody feel about me like I feel about them pile. Where did you put that? Because more than likely, that's how you got in a habit of stacking. And then here come absolute lack. Counting Michael Jordan, Oprah, Barack Nim, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Drake, Quincy Jones, every football, basketball player, everybody. Counting everybody money. Here come extreme lack. Extreme lack exacerbated by everybody else's money. Matter of fact, case in point, shout out to my man Daryl Lee Arthur Hughley. Shout out, Doc. Me and DL has a habit of insisting that if you go out, when you go out with him, he will not let anybody else pay. He won't. Nobody else pays for shit. Whatever you want, just get it. He won't. So one day, the radio crew is at lunch. We're at lunch here over in Burbank. And this actress who, if I said her name, you would know. Actress from the 90s, early 2000s. Sister. Beautiful. Funny. I'm not going to say her name. She walked by. And she was obviously losing her grip on sanity. She was obviously in a bad way. DL stopped her, went in his pocket, and gave her like $200-300. And, you know, she hugged him and, you know, it was real heavy. I mean, he just did it in front of all of us. We didn't give a fuck. It was dope. As she walked away, I said, that was beautiful, bruh. But that's one of the problems about LA that people don't understand. And he said, what? I said, niggas like you. Think about this for a minute. If I'm broke in Dayton, shit, nigga, Chicago. I know they down there in Dallas and Houston and Miami, but I know I'm going to put Chicago, the places I've been, Miami, New York, and LA, all fit this description. As I was telling DL about himself. I said, bruh, it ain't your fault. I said, dude, you drive a Bentley convertible. It's right there. I'm standing on the corner I want to be a comedian. I made it. I may have stumbled. I did it. I have some accomplishments, enough to keep me in this game. But right now, I'm about to eat my neighbor's dog. And then here come DL in a convertible Bentley. There go Damon Wayans in a Mercedes Benz. There go Denzel Washington in a Rolls Royce. There's Robert Downey Jr. in a Porsche. Everything I want is right around me. It's not like I'm in Dayton. It's not like I'm in Des Moines. It's not like I'm in the middle of nowhere. Nigga, it's right there. It's right here. They have these things called auditions where they decide whether they're going to give some people some of this money or not. It's right there. I mean, I can almost, it's like, if I could just break the snot bubble I'm in, I could get it. And being that close to it for extended periods of time while simultaneously eating cat food, Dice, that shit'll drive you out your mind. And he had to look at it. He was like, man, yeah. Some of that shit drives these people crazy. Is that they so close to it that their envy eats them. The closer you are to your goals, the more envy will eat at you if you're not careful. Ooh-wee. Yeah. Hit me with that one, Zero. The closer you are to your goals, the more danger you're in, the more envy may eat you. Mama, knock it off! No, hey, hush! I know you hear me. See, I'm gonna go down there. Somebody must be walking by my house. Yeah, let me pop that in there. Oh. Yes. Pow. Envy is a drug. The closer you are to your goals, the more danger you are in. That's one of the problems, basically, with Hollywood. What up, Willie 417? Willie 417 say you may need to relocate. Okay, here's the problem with that, Willie. Now you're gonna throw me happily off track, but this is true. Hollywood, the concept of Hollywood is made up of people coming here from all walks of life, from all over the world, for all the wrong reasons. I'm cute. I'm strong. I'm menacing. I can beat people up. I'm charming. I'm funny. That's hilarious, Bruce. That's, you know, she smoked that, right? No, I don't think so. They come here for all the wrong reasons, bro. All the shallow ass reasons. All of the low frequency reasons. You cute. You sound good. You can sing. All the reasons that people where you grew up from inflated your ego. That's why you came here. For all of your ego-driven shit. You piled up all your ego-driven shit and brought it here to showcase for the rest of the world. That's one of the things about Hollywood. That all these people are here for the wrong reasons. Now, they'll talk that I believe the children are the future shit, but that's not why you came here. You came here because wherever you were, you thought you were the funniest or the best looking or the strongest or the tallest or the whatever. The best actor. You could have been the best actor right over the fuck where you were or any of that. Shout out to especially the comedian. I'm a comedian. The comedians in cities like Chicago, Atlanta, Miami, where they are the absolute unadulterated heavyweight champions of those cities, and they good. Love to them cats, bro. Love to them. I love to see that. With that, comes the need that has been nurtured in and exacerbated for us all. It's been exacerbated for all of us. It's been agitated. It's been since the Hutus and the Tutsis, since the house niggas and the field niggas. It's been cultivated in us all to where we have put ourselves in this race, this need to be okay. That's the other thing that happens is this need to let everybody else know that my shit good. You live in the ghetto. Dear Jordan sneaker collector in the ghetto. Hey, it's your Uncle Jeff. Dear Nike sneaker collector that buys but does not sell. With a closet full of fly-ass sneakers. Fly. First run sneakers that you don't sell, but you're trying to figure out how to pay your rent. You're an envy junkie. You're an envy junkie. Bad news. You're in the same boat of shit. You're in the same boat of pig shit that everybody else is around you. You live over there, nigga. You didn't move out of here with them sneakers. You didn't start buying sneakers a year and a half or two ago, and now y'all packing. You didn't start selling them sneakers and buy the apartment building you in. You bought them sneakers. So when you on your way to the bus stop, other niggas around here can want what you got. Because if they want what you got, then that makes you okay. That's where that comes from. And that comes from the lack consciousness given to you by 4 centuries of oppression. I gotta wear, I gotta look. Do you know why niggas buy $100,000 cars before they buy houses? Because you can't drive your car, you can't drive your house down the street unless it's a double wide. God damn it, I need you to see me. You got to see everything I got. Oh God, if you don't. So that you can think that I have figured out a way out of this and that I'm okay. So you can think that there is somehow a huge difference between how you doing and how I'm doing. And nigga, you live 2 doors down. I'm not talking about low key, you own the whole south side of Chicago. I'm not talking about low key, you own 5 barbershops and you just decide to stay over here. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your W-2 earning ass being a victim of commercialism in the name of making niggas you don't know feel bad. That's what I'm talking about. Type this for me, Zero. The top 2 ignorant, all caps, indigo, golf, November, umbrella, November tango. Ignorant ass categories of envy toward other black people. And I just said other black people only. Because here's some more feelings hurting ass news. Dear black people, you can't stunt on white folk. Not even the homeless, toothless, ignorant, lazy, bigoted ones. You know why? Because they face on the money. They face on the money. I believe it was Chris Rock who said, there ain't a man in this audience. There ain't a white man in this audience that wants to trade places with me, and I'm rich. That's a fact. You're only stunting on yourselves. You are not stunting on nobody but you and people who look like you. Because people who don't look like you are tickled by it. They tickled by it. It's cute. In the words of LL Cool J, you tickle me with it. Now, there are 2 categories. 2 main ones that black people use on other black people. 2 basic places they come from. The first one, yeah, I'm gonna kill them with this. Okay. Nigga, I'm still guilty of that one. I put my little certain outfits I put on. Yeah, I'm finna bust this out on their ass. I can't get away from that. That's probably bad. That's probably bad. But I'm gonna bare my soul. Every now and then, no, a lot. I still do like the first day of school. Remember the first day? Remember the Sunday before you go to school on Monday? You lay your clothes on the bed and you put the arms and you shape them. And then you put the shoes. Put the shoes next to the outfit. And the older you get, the more you get into it with your mama about putting this where you put the shoe, because she know you in there. She know what you're doing. And take them shoes off the bed, because she know you putting the shoe to match with the shirt. You know, how she know that? Because she know you. So you put your shit back down on the floor. But then as you get older, you ain't even listening to that. Then you get a little bit older. And take them shoes off the bed. Mama, these shoes is new. I'm sorry. That don't sound like the 2 letters I'm supposed to hear. Okay. Yeah. I'm still guilty of that. I still bust my shit out. I'm gonna bust this out on their ass. I'm gonna kill them with this. I'm gonna shut it down. That's envy drug. That's the envy. That's you using envy as a drug. Now, here's the problem with it. Here's when it gets dangerous. Well, no, I'm gonna say that for after this one. Number 2, you ain't got these, this, that though. What are those? I need to remind you that we're in a race. And judging from what you're wearing, what you're driving, what you're doing, what you're not doing, what you're not driving, where you're not going, you're lagging behind in the race. And I'm going to ridicule you because of it. Because there's a race, you know. Has nothing to do with making mankind better. Has nothing to do with searching your soul for answers that you can share, give, or receive. Has little or nothing to do with your forward movement other than other envy junkies knowing that you are on the same consumerism level of addiction that they are. Has nothing to do with that. Yeah, it's all that big bubble of yeah. Look what you're not doing. Look where you're not getting. Look what you don't have. Look what you look, everybody. That's where both of them come from. And why? Now the first one I can give a pass to. Because the first one is about pride in one's appearance. Especially if it's within your means. By all means, represent yourself as well as you can. What is your representation of put together and deserving of respect? I deserve respect dressed this way. I deserve respect because I represent myself well. And that don't mean you got to step out the latest Benz. Matter of fact, you want to get funky with it, save your money and buy an old one that somebody that hooked up and they can't get all their money back. And your shit clean as hell. but you smart about how to represent yourself without being a consumerism whore. More on that later. That one I can excuse. This one here, it ain't nowhere but in the hateful, ugly chitlin pile. You ain't got this, that though. You got, yeah, that shit there. There's no other place for that than where it is. In that nasty ass suit of who it is we either want to be or who it is we want people to think we are. It's over there in that shit. And we have to find it. We have to wake up from that. We have to get up and around it. And it's not the easiest thing to do. We've been taught to do it to each other. It feels good. Do you know how good it feels? There you go. Laying awake at night with your eyes big as baseballs, trying to figure out where you going to get the money to make the payment on that car does not feel as bad as pulling up to a light, stopping, and having all the black people, because you only want to be accepted by them other folks, all the black people around you wishing they had that car feels good. Let me say it again, but shorter this time. Laying awake at night, trying to figure out how you're going to pay for that expensive car does not feel as bad as being envied at a stoplight with it feels good. Ooh, that nigga catching a bus right there. They can't afford this. Yeah, nigga, yeah. I'm doing okay in this Jag. You know why you can't stunt on the white man? Because more than likely his uncle invented the letter J, nigga. You cute with it. You look so cute in your 6,000 square foot house with your 7 cars and your 200 suits. Oh, you look so cute. It's so cute. But the envy's dangerous for you either way. Especially if you're on that Jasper ass shade tree house coon shit. Because as soon the question becomes, whose envy is heaviest? Whose envy weighs the most? Black people's envy of each other or white folks' envy of black people? Which one is most detrimental to your shit? That's going to be the question that when I open the doors of the church, we're going to really fuck with. Matter of fact, write that down for me too, Zero. Whose envy is whose envy is most toxic? Whose envy is most dangerous? Whose envy is most inclined to destroy us as a people? Black folks envy of white people? Black folks envy of black people? Or white folks envy of black people? Them three. What y'all talking about in here? What's going on, Sugar Mac? Thank you, Jimmy. What up, narcotic? Niggas rather buy expensive ass sneakers, but lights be cut off. You looking good in the dark, right? Right? Nigga, hand me that flashlight. Bam! Look at them right there. I'm gonna kill them with these, because they gonna think my lights is on when they see these. Surely my lights are on, right? I mean, I have on these. Everything's okay in my life. My life is fantastic. Do you know why? Because I got 3 pair of these, nigga, and you don't. So important. So important. I got these, and nigga, you don't. I need that. When you spotted wearing, driving, going, eating, and most importantly, by someone you don't know who you think can't afford it, woo! Consumerism is the condition. That's the condition you in. That's how we get this. Even the ancillary envy shit. February 14th. When you get a gang of roses on your desk from your man, as opposed to at the house, as opposed to at dinner that night. Them roses ain't worth a fuck if can't nobody see you get them. Yeah, bitches. Don't lie. Don't lie. It's human. I'm not saying you shouldn't have it. I'm saying it shouldn't be a drug. You shouldn't live for it. Yeah, bitches. You ain't got no man. You ain't got no flowers. Or you do have a man and you didn't get no flowers. Either way, yeah, bitches. That's why it's so important to send the roses to work. You can never take out the yeah, bitches component. It's a component. Oh, that's funny. The yeah, bitches component drives consumerism. Somebody got to grow them roses. Somebody got to cut them. Somebody got to deliver them. So consumerism becomes the condition. Receipt of the shiny item is the needle in the arm. Oh, nigga. Oh, nigga. When I go out and get into this brand new car, this car ain't got but 46 miles on it. Brand new. I get in and I get that new car smell. And I pull off the lot with these payments that the difference between can afford and can make is something we need to discuss. Oh, you can make the payment. Can you really afford it in the long run? Hell no. Can you afford to pay $75,000 cash over time for a car that's only worth supposedly 40? That once they saddle you with this loan, as long as you make your payments on time, you will never, ever, ever be anything but upside down in this car because they set the numbers and the interest rates up to make sure that that is the truth. Yeah, that thing. That depreciating liability in your driveway that's worth less and less as you sit here. It'll be worth less tomorrow than it is today. And you still on the hook for it. That thing. Smell them seats. That thing. That's the needle in the arm. However, when you're spotted, oh, I gotta fix that. I can't do that. I can do better than that. There we go. When you're spotted wearing it, driving it, going that place or eating, and most importantly by someone you don't know who you think can't afford it, nigga, that's the drug. That's the drug. That's the vein. That's the nigga. That's that opium going where it's supposed to go. Did you see how they looked at me? Did you see them see me play it off while they was looking at me? Oh my God. If I can't have other people look at me, then why the fuck did I buy this thing? Why am I around here eating cat food with mayonnaise and Wonder Bread to ride around in this depreciating liability if you ain't gonna look at it? Oh, you gotta see me. Please see me. Don't, oh God, please look at me. You know how much I spent on this outfit? You know how much I spent on this car? And you're not gonna look? You're not gonna feel bad because you don't have one? Damn it. I have wasted my time here. I need you to feel bad about yourself when you see me. That is envy as a drug. The envy itself is bad enough. The you gonna feel bad about you because I did something good for me. That's bad enough. And then it makes it out to me and others because you work from this place of lack. That's one thing. The wishing of bad on someone else because of what you don't have is quite another. It's evil. That's why it's number 4 on the 7 deadlies. This is why I only put this out to the Tesseracts. Only the Tesseracts can fuck with this, really. The squares and the cubes, they have to throw out with what they don't like about Trump, what they don't like what he said about whatever it is, what they don't like about what he said about the Hebes, they don't like what he said about your boy Adolf H. They don't like that. So they're going to throw out this. Verse 1. I know you're wondering, how is Kanye spitting so hot? Because I listen to The Rock. And I listen and watch. And the first thing I copped was a glistening watch. Off that Blueprint money. Yeah, I know. I'm a dummy. But what am I supposed to tell a girl in the club while that ass is getting filled on? What? I bought a couple build-ons? Seems like I got more brain off my fake chain than my real one. 'Cause on the real, son, if a girl think you broke, she just want to fucking smoke. If you pay, then she's thinking about her children. Feel him? Probably not, though, unless you got dough. You know what I mean? You would think the grass is greener when you finally get green. First two, man, I promise she's so self-conscious. She has no idea what she doing in college. That major she majored in don't make no money. But she won't drop out. Her parents will look at her funny. Now tell me that ain't secure. The concept of school seems so secure. Now tell me that ain't insecure. The concept of school seems so secure. Sophomore 3 years ain't picked a career. She like, fuck it. I'll just stay down here and do hair. 'Cause that's enough money to buy her a few pairs of new Airs. 'Cause her baby daddy don't really care. She's so precious with the peer pressure. Couldn't afford a car. Couldn't afford a car. So she named her daughter Alexis. Couldn't afford a car. So she named her daughter Alexis. She had no hair. She had hair so long that it looked like a weave. Then she cut it all off. Now she looked like Eve. And she be dealing with some issues that you can't believe. Single black female addicted to retail. And man, verse 3, I promise I'm so self-conscious. That's why you always see me with at least one of my watches. Rollies and Pashas that drove me crazy. I can't even pronounce nothing past that for Sacy. Then I just spent $400 on this just to be like, nigga, you ain't up on this. Plus, I refuse to go to the grocery store without some ones that's clean and a shirt with a team. It seems we live in the American dream, but the people highest up got the lowest self-esteem, but the people highest up got the lowest self-esteem. The prettiest people do the ugliest things. For the road to riches and diamond rings, we shine because they hate us. Floss because they degrade us. We trying to buy back our 40 acres. And even for that paper, look how low we'll stoop. Even if you in a Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe. Nigga, if that don't say it all. If that ain't the brilliance, where it go? All right, let's see what we're saying in here. Oh shit, Jan wins. European man's penis envy of the African man and cultural envy of the Afro aesthetic is the root of their collective inferiority complex, thus the catalyst for their genocidal hostility toward us. Absolutely, Jan. But a little purple road off to the side of the main road we on for right now. Because the main road is about us, but you are right, sir. Nothing wrong with that, Eddie Willis. Eddie Willis said, hey, wait a minute. I drive a Mercedes-Benz coupe. Well, I told you I was going to step on some feet in here today. Now, it's not that you drive a Mercedes-Benz coupe. I own a Jag XJ. It just so happens I got it for a steal because it had an engine fire. So when I pull up in it, oh, it looks like $1 million, but it's not. Not even close. So that means, and it's worth more than I paid for it, which makes it an asset. It's an asset that needs to be cultivated from time to time. But I can make money with it if I put it in a movie. I can make money with it if I put it in wedding photos or headshots. And the bank doesn't have the pink slip to it. It's an asset. Now, ask yourself that about your Mercedes coupe. Are you making payments on it? Can you write those payments off entirely because it's being used in a business? How much will you have paid out of pocket over the eventual time of the loan? Did you get a loan for it? How much was it worth then? How much is it worth now? And how much did you pay for it? If any of those questions if any of the answers to those questions make you unhappy on paper, I'm not talking about your emotional affection and connection to the car. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. The fact that you own it is fantastic. How did you get to it? Is what you have to ask. Because if you got to it in a way that is less financially solvent, and again, this is only if you want to be financially independent. If you don't, then it could be on some other shit. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you said. My response was directed at your earlier question of whose envy is more dangerous. Why did the U.S.? Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. I stand corrected. I'll get to that in a second. But that's yeah, we're gonna really get into that when I open the doors. I'm gonna open the doors. I'm gonna open the doors in a few minutes. Yes. Those are the questions you ask yourself. How did I get this car? And am I so happy with this car that in order to get another one, I will do that? If that wasn't smart, I need to examine that. It is a depreciating liability. Not necessarily, Eddie, if you own it outright. Not necessarily. If it's just a regular old passenger car, yeah, maybe. If it looked like something, bruh, put it on the list and put in movies. You can make some money with it. Is somebody shooting movies in your area that might need that car? Then it becomes an asset. If it's a really nice everyday, if it's a really you say my next Mercedes will be a lease. Depending upon which one, I wouldn't get rid of it. I'd get a lease and keep it. If it really looks nice, let it get old. You own it, bruh. Rub it with a baby diaper and put it back. It's a Mercedes. It's only gonna get cooler as it gets older. Look at the old ones now. That's yours is going to be is on that road. I would hold on to it. I would take care of it, especially since you now own it and the bank don't. I would take care of it and find ways to pimp it, nigga. Then it's not necessarily a liability if it can put money in your pocket. I'm not talking about on no Uber shit. So yeah, that is my whole point is to say you don't have to necessarily be mad about how you driving the Mercedes coupe. That it's an entire mistake. No. If you bought it with a bank loan and paid it off entirely, you need to keep that car for 10 years. You got to get your money back. You upside down still. You still upside down if you take it back, even in on the lease, because you have to keep it to make it worth it. And this is just my opinion. This is just the way I see it. God damn it. I done gave the bank how much? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, first off, I ain't finna get a bank on that much on no bullshit. My shit is fly. Okay. This is about to be my fly shit for a long time. I'm about to keep this son bitch clean as hell. Put it in there. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. In Kuwait and Iraq, the Mercedes-Benz Uber taxi of choice. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Most def. Yeah, I hit all of those. So yeah, then I suppose it is. I mean, what the hell? I guess as I get ready here to open the doors of the church, yeah. When I come back, I'm gonna take a PEEP break here in a second. I'm finna lead us here playing whilst I go and refill my drinky drink. And as much as I love y'all, I can't just sit here and piss on myself. So enjoy this funky ass music and think about them questions I ask. And be ready to answer them when you come in the chat. Come on in, everybody. Doors of the church. I'll be back in a minute. Yo, I'm back, and now we gonna now the doors of the churches is open. We gonna go and get into this thing, chop it up. Rooms open. Come through if you so desire. Yeah, I gotta take that one later. Oh shit. Sit tight, cousin Ennis. Here we go. Man. There we go.
Hey,
What's happening,
everybody.
girl?
How y'all doing?
I'm how's my puppy baby mama doing?
Oh, let me tell you, the bitch is doing good. Let me tell you something. He brought her over, and boy, them titties dropping down real hard. So it won't be long. He gonna bring her over, but this time when he could bring her over, either me or Butch gonna video her and let you see her. I swear for God, she looks like your dog.
Okay. So yeah, I'm about to get another carbon copy of what we already got.
Exactly, and she a female. She is funky.
Oh man, I can't wait. Something's going wrong with your audio. It sounds like
I got this cheap. Let me change this.
yeah, you got the yeah. You eat my ears up.
Cheap ass damn headphone. Let me put
That's
the
better.
expensive ones in. They don't act like that.
You always get what you pay for. You get what you pay for.
Exactly. It was something quick because I was getting my hair done and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I hate to correct you, but that's her did. Getting your hair did.
Yeah, my hair.
Did. You're getting your hair did.
Yeah, get my hair did.
Getting your hair did.
Exactly, but don't sweat it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let people understand. I was born and raised in New York City, but my mother is from South Carolina, Dillon, South Carolina. She said screech, scrape, strawberry. So when you teach a child how to read, you have to pronounce the words exactly the way your mother pronounced them. So I did. They ended up with me with 2 English classes because I had to learn how to talk correctly.
Yeah,
Okay,
you had to undo what your mama was doing at the house.
And I was like the water boy. My mama said that's not how you say that. You feel what I'm saying? I got in plenty of fights when people talk about my mama. You understand?
Oh yeah, you gotta put them up now.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. All through my life, and even as a grown up, you say anything wrong about my mama, I have to go in your mouth.
I have to go on and I have to go and put these doorknobs on.
Okay.
Now, question. What? Give me an envy story of either it turned out the person screwed themselves over with envy, or an envy story of something you've seen where you just saw the envy, but it didn't really affect. It was just something you saw, and then or a story of envy, something you saw be destroyed by envy.
Well, can y'all hear me clearly? Cause I got the good earphones in.
You good now?
I'm good now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm about to do what Jeff was just doing. You're gonna be surprised what I'm about to do before I give you my answer. Okay.
Get into that, Eddie.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I could say is I really don't have a story, but here in Jersey, it's all about the ride and the clothes here. You know what I'm saying? And because all in New Jersey, I'm gonna tell you just like here, from the top of New Jersey all the way down to the central to the southern part of New Jersey, is all about the clothes and it's all about the ride. And the biggest, because most of them are drug dealers anyway, so it's all about the fat pockets for here. You feel what I'm saying? So most of them who drives and dress real sharp, Their house is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They live in the projects and they got some nasty ass shit going on. And that's where you want to take a female at. You feel me?
Right.
And the female will accept this shit all because he's dressing sharp and he got a hot ass fucking ride in his pockets is fat. That's all that matters here. And that's all they want here.
Wow.
I'd rather have a house. I'd rather own a house or own a business than own a fat ride and some fat ass clothes and then my house stink.
Well, and to co-sign that, you and I are dealing with an escaped mindset.
Exactly.
We escaped it, but it's something to be escaped from, as in especially in the hood, you not gonna wake up without this. Look at those thinking, what are those? Because it's all around you. You're not gonna wake up without it. It's something you got to get out of, and you have to recognize it's something to be escaped from. And that brings me to the question: which one do you think is the most detrimental? And this question is for everybody. My man Zero Bruce, you can let your guns loose on this one. Oh shit, Zero Bruce, let your guns loose. Which do you think is most excuse me which is most detrimental? Black folks envy of white folks, white folks envy of black folks, or black folks envy of black folks?
I think it goes. I'm sorry, y'all. I think it goes on a lot of ways.
Okay, you can only pick one. You only
Okay,
get one. Black folks envy of white folks, white folks envy of black folks, or black folks envy of black folks.
okay.
And why?
I'm
Which
from
one?
I'm from old school, so I'm gonna say black folks envy white folks.
Okay, black folks envy of white folks. Why
Right.
is that one the most dangerous? Why?
Because just think back in the day, most of y'all your black folks, what's the first thing they did when they got money? They went and got them on either a white girl or a white man.
Okay,
Cause that's
so
all they saw.
right,
You feel me?
and they saw it as success.
And that is hello
They saw it as success. Your
and
thoughts,
yeah.
Zero. What's on your mind? Which one?
Bless up, everybody.
Hey.
I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say black folks envy of white folks, and there's a specific reason why I'm saying it.
Hmm.
And it's because that situation is the hate that hate made. You know,
Wow.
white folks envy is natural. That's them in their natural perfection.
Right.
You know, black folks envy is like they have no, it's like it's all learned and transferred and based off of just what, like another culture that they looked at and was raised up in. It's not their natural
Habitat.
their natural habitat or their natural perfection, you know.
Mhm. It is the Similac
Mm-hmm.
of their being. It's not
Yeah.
natural milk. Your mother's milk is not that. This
Right.
is the Similac you on. Go on.
Right. Right. It's so out of character. And then another thing I would say is that I think envy, I've dealt in a bunch of different religions. I walked the burning sands and different lodges and things like that. And I really honestly think that envy is the main mechanism that gives churches, mosques, synagogues their main power over people.
Go deeper. Hit that again.
It's the main ingredient.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Like when I really look at it all, having gone through a bunch of them and actually witnessed them firsthand, it's like they are all, the glue that holds them together is the congregation's envy of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, sir, you are going to
go deep, go deep, go deep.
Again. Woo, what was that?
Go deep.
The glue that holds those organizations together is the congregations envying each other. That's kind of like why I walk. I don't want to walk alone, but I walk alone because I see that we out of our nature, and it's hard to do shit with people when they out of their nature, you know. And then what I've also noticed is, like, in my travels and looking for places to be and people to be with, that's the common thread that I see, is like the envy that they have in their congregational settings, no matter if they Muslim, Islamic in the deen, whether if they Christian, whether if they Hebrew. And even when you start getting into like other corporations, because you know churches and stuff are corporations, but even when you get into businesses and other corporations that have a similar culture, envy seems like the glue or the main mechanism that keeps the competition and competitiveness going. And it's like nobody benefits from it but the people at the top of the pyramid scheme. You know, it's all a pyramid scheme.
Wow. All right, Master Bruce, unmute yourself, sir. Come on in. What's on your mind? Which one of them do you think is most detrimental with regard to envy? Black to whites, whites to blacks, or blacks to blacks?
I don't think. Peace to everybody. I don't think you can envy what you don't know. You can be jealous of what you don't know, but I don't think you can envy what you don't know. And I don't think so. I think now it's us of each other, because you know the house, the family down the street ain't got enough, just like you ain't got enough. But the struggle to be the first one with them pair of shoes on, or with that video game system, or them clothes, is absolutely ridiculous. It's more ridiculous than even saying to look up down the street and going, well, they got a bigger house than we do. Fuck them. I'm competing with the dude down the street. I think that's way more poisonous than to be worried about what the white folks have got going on right now.
Sure. I'll smoke a bag of that. That absolutely makes sense. The only, if I had to take issue with a piece of it, it would be your saying that you can't envy what you don't know. Actually, you can, because ignorance is one of the main ingredients of envy. Because all envy means is that I see something you have, and it makes me angry or puts me in hater mode because I don't have it. That's all that's required for envy. So I don't have to know it.
Right.
Now, but to be personal with it, now that's where I feel you. I know Andre and them down the street, and that nigga house is nicer than mine. His bikes are nicer than mine. His daddy's car is nicer than mine. And fuck that nigga because of it. That's a different animal. But it's not. But yeah, now go.
Because I'll go and fuck Andre up about that. I'm not going all the way I'm not going out my zip code to go fuck somebody up about some shit that they got in their zip code that I don't have.
When I can just bust Andre in the face with a pipe.
But I would rather, and it's the hatred is deeper for something I know versus something I don't understand that these white folks been doing this for X amount of time and that's how they got their shit. Absolutely. I don't understand that struggle. I understand that these motherfuckers down the street got more than me and I'll bust their head open about having a little bit more than me.
Okay. How about
that's
this?
But what wouldn't it be better just to think, say I need to work a little bit more harder to get what I want? Because that's my mindset. Okay, that is so lovely. I mean, that is really lovely. So that makes me work more harder and save more money to get something, that'll satisfy my taste. You understand? I'm not going to be envy for them because they spent their money, not my money, their money to get what they like. So now it's time for me to work harder to get the things that I like to satisfy my taste. You understand?
Sure.
But see, I think that's the problem. Oh, go ahead.
That's my mindset. That's my mindset.
Okay, go ahead, Zero.
And it piggybacks off of when you said Similac, right? And about what we being fed and how we're being fed, right? I think a big point in like religious settings about the devil and devilishment and the root of devilishment is the fact that it is perfection. Like a lot of people, I don't know, for some reason, religion makes evil or devilishment or out of order shit into a caricature, or where they really believe that it's like it's not perfect in its design, right? So the reason why I say it's the hate that hate made, or black folks envying white folks, is because that's the root of what I believe that Bruce is speaking on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, no matter if you don't hit that root, if it's some toxicity, right, and you don't go and neutralize the main root of the cancer, it's always going to be the cancer is going to always be able to what they call it, not remission, but when it comes back,
yes, remission.
Yes, remission. The cancer is always going to be able to come back, in remission. Now, I do want to clarify that I'm not in this zone of where, like, because I don't like the thing where everybody likes to blame everything on white folks. I'm just identifying the root, and then on top of that, I would say that it's on us to do what we got to do within ourselves to identify that, fix it, separate ourselves from that root thing, and then I think it'll fix all the subsequent shit. The black on black, to me, I honestly think that it's as it is in the United States. I think a big part of it is how we raised in the culture that we raised in, and the way that we educated and raised, and our belief system. Nothing is ours.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing straight from our, like, most of the shit we dealing with is not from our soulful root interaction with nature. It's all some shit that we picked up off of envying the preacher. Oh, the preacher got all this, so I want to be like the preacher. So the preacher got nice clothes, I want to be like the preacher. The preacher got a nice car, got to be like the preacher. The preacher got access to all the women in the church in reality, so I want to be like the preacher. You know what I'm saying? Like or imam or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like the power that the heads of these pyramids perceive to have is like, we envy that shit. I saw something deep. I was watching some deep ass movies the other night, right? Because when I was watching them, they struck me in this craziest way, because I watched them hundreds of times. One movie is Silence of the Lambs. Okay. And the other movie was the old Alfred Hitchcock Psycho movie with Norman Bates. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, the
And
black and white one.
I was so high and I never saw them movies the way that I saw them the other night because it's like they lessons in covetousness and envy. You know what I'm saying? And how it just drives people insane. And it's like that insanity is not where we supposed to be trying to fix the problem. You know, we supposed to be going to the root of it and shit, the shit that drives people insane. But like, I think the black on black is more of an example of the insanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't think it's the root. I think it's like a side effect. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's the root of why we do what we do. You know what I'm saying? Or why we in the predicament. You know what I'm saying? That we in all around the world. You know what I'm saying?
But because it's easier, that's what we deal with first. That's why we deal with that, because it's easier. Like when you take a Tylenol ain't got shit to do with fixing your headache. It numbs. It don't fix nothing that made the headache.
It depresses it.
Right. So that's what fighting your neighbor is about.
Yeah.
It's just easier to do that than it is to get your shit together and work together and stay on code. So that's why you'd rather do that.
Are you really doing it if it's not the root, if you're not addressing the root, like what if you're not addressing the root cancer, are we just doing are we just wasting energy?
Yep.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. But it's easier to do that than it is to address your issue.
Okay, Matt, stop right there for a second, Master Bruce, because it would appear then to put some algebra on what you're saying, that picking up that brick against your brother is merely Tylenol.
Exactly.
Run with that.
Exactly. It's the fight. It's dealing with the battle and celebrating the battle and not winning and not dealing with the war that's actually at hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's remembering the Alamo and forgetting you lost the war. It's that. It's I want I want to feel good now.
Yeah. Instant gratification.
That's it. That's all it is. It's me and his brother that's supposed to be we were odds, but whatever. We were talking, and he was very aggressive in his speak. And me and him, he's a little older than me, but there was another guy that was older than both of us, 10 years older than both of us at the table. So me and him, he's being real aggressive towards me while he's talking. And the older cat just listening, and I'm taking what he's saying, because I know he's saying it from his background. Like his background is aggressive, so that's how he talks. Whatever, it's not gonna offend me. You ain't touching me, so I ain't worried about it. But over these periods of conversations we having, the elder kept making sure he was cool, and eventually, dude brung it down to my level. Like he brung his voice and his aggression came down a lot, to where he could speak the way I was speaking to him. He matched my tone. I didn't match his. And because he didn't have no better options, he just matched mine. So when he came down and he finally broke down and was like, what are we supposed to do then? Okay, now we can build, because we're not arguing anymore.
Right.
And I understood that from listening and not trying to argue with him, even though he was trying to win an argument at first. Understood. Then he had to come to the understanding that I'm not trying to argue with you. And then we could build. But it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. It takes a lot of energy just to sit and listen to somebody go through their tantrums and be patient and wait till we get to the point to where either we are going to destroy or we're going to build. But I got to wait till you figure out what we're trying to do here.
Okay. Now sit tight right there with that thought. I'm going to answer this question real quick. And then I want to get back to your interaction with this brother. Would it not be the same rapping or singing that's got us in the peril that we currently exist in today? The Matrix is the problem, not the unveiling. Black Sparta, that's an absolute yes and. That's a yes and. That the media, our media addiction also to media feeds our addiction for envy. That's where we get the source of what to get in order to make people envious. I need to know, where do I find out which products to spend too much for so that I can get to make other people who also cannot afford this shit feel bad when they see me with it. So that's an absolute there. But
it's an evaluation system that really is beyond us. You know, somebody else is putting a value on it and then telling us, oh, this is worth this. It's even like gold. Like anybody that's from this area, when they talk about antiquity and how the people walked around with gold all over their bodies and teeth and everything, it wasn't a thing. But the value we have in gold and money and all of that right now stems from Europeans not having access to it. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yes. Gold back in the day.
Like if you go to Nigeria, like and like some of the people that will be, it's dudes here that you will get in their Uber, right? And you'll judge them a certain way, driving you around in their Uber. And when they get home, you know what I'm saying? Like the regalia and adornment in gold that they have is like,
they could buy your house
worth 4 houses. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so like that's kind of why I was saying that the hate that hate made, or the envy that envy made. It's like it started with somebody, and now we all caught up in a system that ain't even, because like the brother said, I agree with him, a matrix that's not even really based on no kind of reality that's beneficial for us. We're not even evaluating or evaluating or in a position to appraise nothing, even God. It's all false. Everything we appraise and give praise to is false as fuck.
Sure. Now, I want to get back to what Bruce was discussing. What it sounded like was with this dude you had this interaction with, you had the patience to take the bumpy road of, I need to argue and I don't know how to get into this without these base level confrontational tools I use that make most other base level niggas snap and get right where I'm comfortable. I don't know how to do that. So I'm just gonna use these tools till they break against your patience, and then I don't have anywhere to go. But how do we solve this? That's what I heard. Does that sound about right?
Well, yeah, it was.
Okay, hold on. Follow me now. When you got there, you basically had the patience to take this bumpy ass ride of that shit to get to how do we fix this? Now, regardless to the conclusion, and this is what I want you to speak on. Regardless to the conclusion, and when you finish, I want you to tell me the conclusion and then address this. Regardless of that conclusion, you're going to have to ask yourself, is this individual going to take the realization or ever come to the realization that he was outwitted and outmastered in a social situation? That he was clearly the lesser in this situation, and that my stance is the place for him to grow. What's he gonna do with that? Is he gonna put that in the I'm gonna try to be that dude column, or the fuck that dude column? And finish your conclusion and tell me what you think of this person and which column he'll put it in and why you think it.
Okay, so I'm talking to recently inactive gang member.
Okay.
So dude is like, he has a name. He's somebody of in certain circles. He's definitely somebody. There's definitely some people out here that's gonna hate him for life type of situation. He one of them. They gonna hate him. They gonna hate him for life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Multiple times over.
Say no more.
But he, in conversation, when you learn how to listen to where somebody's trying to get to, even though they can't get to it, like they don't have the tools to get to where they're trying to go, but he's not saying anything. He's being overly aggressive to have this simple of a conversation, because all we were talking about was religion at first, and he was gangbanging religion. It was the funniest I've ever heard, but he was doing so aggressive, and I'm like, but how he's talking, he's trying to get to a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
So the words he's using, the tone he's using is aggressive, but the words he's using is trying to build. It's just, most people is not going to receive this attitude no matter what you're saying. You could be like, pass the cheese, and the way you saying pass the cheese is going to make me throw the plate at you, and we going to start scrapping.
Right.
So that's how he's talking. And it was just one of them perfect moments where we are that was my first day at this job. It was some older cats there that if he got overly aggressive and he wanted somebody to look at, he had some older people to look at, like, yeah, he not saying nothing, and you not really saying nothing wrong, but you not really right type of situation. So he had nowhere to go. Now, at the time, but the words he's using, he's trying to build, but because everything he says is what then? Okay, so if this is what this is, then why do they do that? Okay, if this is what this is, then what do we do after that? And because I understood that he was trying to build, I had to wait him out to where he just start asking questions instead of asking me like he's telling me something. I already know what you're. Okay, so I'm where you at. I've been where you are. Now, how do we get to the next place? Okay, so now I get to speak to you. So the next thing he asked was, so how do we get to the place where we not enemies? And that's okay. Now we can get there. Okay, so this is how we get there, man. It might be too late for me and you. It's not too late for me and you to look at each other like enemies, because I understand that you just black man. You just got out. You married. You just got married. You trying to turn your life around for your kids and this, that, and the other, right? He go, yeah. I said, no, I don't know that when I see you at the store, right? He's like, nah, right. So what we do is we give each other peace. We just peace. I don't look at you like my enemy. I try my hardest not to look at you like you not doing nothing threatening to me by existing. But the whole time we struggle in doing that, we teach our kids forever that just because he's a black man, that's not your enemy. You teach your kids not to look at my kids like they their enemy. I'll teach my kids not to look at your kids like they their enemy. And they'll grow up with it instead of having to develop it as adults.
Wow.
And then we keep doing that till we stop doing that.
And what did he say?
He shook my hand. We shook each other's hand like we was, and we bowed and said thank you. And that's how we ended that.
Yeah. See, and so again, my question remains. Which pile do you think he will put this experience in?
He would, at the time before I left the man and we never spoke again, it was a good conversation. So he would take that and move with that like as best as he could, with his level of knowledge, because it was a lot about fathers and that. You stay the father of your children and make sure your children understand it, because you can only teach them that. As a man, seeing another man, not being envious or jealous of another man and what they have or possess, they'll look at you and go, well, my dad wasn't scared to go out and put the time in to work hard to get the cars and the clothes and blah, blah, blah. We might not have started with it, but when I was 3, we didn't have it. From 10, our Christmases got a little bit better. About 10 years old, our Christmases got better. And from there on out, we just kept progressing. They'll remember that as long as you, they dad, and they family, and you keep trying to do it. It's not something that happens overnight. We're not robbing and stealing no more. So it's you not getting, like E40 said, you're not getting a fast quarter. You might be getting a slow nickel, but the nickels add up, and you keep doing what you're supposed to do, and they'll see the progression over time.
Right.
So if ain't nothing happened to that brother's life to where he needed to go back to, or he felt like he needed to go back to doing what he was good at before, if he ain't had to go back to there, and life is, he's been blessed enough to stay on the path that he was on, then when my kids see his kids, we shouldn't have no problem. It shouldn't be where you from when my kids see his kids. It should be like his kid. I'm driving, they drove. I'm just happy we not walking.
Right. Or better yet, it's on some where you from, how can I help? Not where you from, let's get at it. Or have an addict to be at, or have an addict that's inside of us that isn't being resolved by the elders among us. Let's get, when I see you, where you from, let's trade, let's build. I love that. It's a great lesson. I've
never seen that. Like, I've never been a jealous or envious person. So my elders that had more than me, I always just wanted my version of whatever they had. So I'm not your furniture, but the fact that your house is sitting on land, I want that. My house is going to be designed different, but I definitely want my house to where I don't need to ask neighbors for permission to do nothing. Like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. That's I think, again, I have to hit you young cats in the head with this. That you are the first ministers of the unlearning. Nobody in my generation, the wisest of men, I never heard them say, unlearn this to our children. What I did hear them say is that it exists. Find other people that it does not exist in and get down with them. I heard that a lot. Find other people it doesn't exist in and get down with them. What I didn't hear was teach our kids to love each other. That's much bigger, and that you are poised perfectly, because the only thing that is going to keep them alive is that they're going to have to love themselves, because we were too close to the nuclear blast radius of chattel slavery to love one another.
Hey, Jeff, check
go
this.
ahead.
Check this, bro. You are talking some deep tesseratic information here. I don't know if it's crossing your mind, but do you understand that, like,
how dope I am? Yes.
Look, both of the things that y'all are saying, right, are the reason why knowledge is not shared freely with anybody. That's why.
Wow. Go deeper. Okay.
Check this, right? So when we talking about debating and disagreement and putting ideas out on the table and democracy and all of that, we got to really study where we are. So we coming from an American perspective, and it was taught to us in that American perspective a certain way: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? People are under the impression that because the founding documents and the founding guidances mention God, that they religious, and they not. They Freemasonic. The most cultured people in every church, in every synagogue, in every Islamic temple, masjid, are the highest, most reasonable, most money-making, most moving, most fluent people who are marrying their seeds to each other and making power moves are people that are outside of the envy matrix, because they moving on a whole nother flow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like in the churches, they are envying each other and scrambling, and then but that's giving cover to others who are looking at their ignorance, and like they free to move in their matrix. They able to make power moves in their matrix, and it's all guided on. It's all based on them not sharing it with the fools. Every culture, everything, every knowledge book that you read, they always telling you and giving you warnings of sharing your information with fools or sharing your knowledge with fools. And if you notice, the common thread is don't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Cash not your pearls.
That's not cash, not your. It's like don't do it. But what happens is people are thinking that they're unfairly being carried a certain way because they don't have access to the higher knowledge. And it's like if you're not thinking in that tesseract, in those tesseract formations, you're not gonna have access. We can be all talking about the same exact thing, and if you're not thinking of it and looking at everything, I'm talking about breaking it down to the molecular structure on why shit is the way it is and having an understanding, you're going to miss it because you're going to just be in the emotional flow of what it is and always asking the questions and spinning your wheels on how do we get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Do you know it's a split second to get out of the shit? You know what I'm saying? You got to give up the valuation and the shit that they gave value to and taught you was valuable, and really seek out and find out what's really valuable. Even with financial people, if you notice when they teach you and you get that higher knowledge of how to deal with your finances, it's a lot of shit that you didn't realize, like, damn, I didn't know I could do this. Oh, damn, I didn't know I should get a life insurance policy and then put the money on a life insurance policy and then borrow against a life insurance policy before I buy the car. Then I'll never be in debt. Like these are levels of higher knowledge that the fool that wants the fool, you can't suffer the fool. You know what I'm saying? The fool is the envious person that's all looking at all the material value, the color, the brightness, all of the shit that the pimp uses to attract and use them, and they're putting value on that, while the people that see clear is out here really making moves. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why most people are not going to mention the children is because it ain't even going to be no mates for their children if they're not thinking on higher levels. It ain't going to be no mates to match their children. They're going to be food.
Right. I think we're gonna. Have you ever been anybody here a fan of Conan the Barbarian? The comic book.
Yeah, I used to read the graphic novels.
Yeah, you remember the Picts, the Picts? Savage people. Brother, think about this. Wrap your brains around this. We can all agree that public school has become puppy mills. That they just babysitting your kids, and they lay the AP classes out there, and the kids that go into the AP classes they consider, the rest they throw out. So you getting kids that can barely read leaving high school in droves. What are their offspring gonna learn?
You can't have a successful purge without having a bunch of jokers.
You need some herd. Herd, and there is going to be a herd. There's going to be a herd of people that is going to survive this next thing coming, and it's going to basically. And this is just my belief. It's going to wipe out a gang of them, but it ain't going to wipe them all out. And whatever is left that does not elevate itself with the rest of us will become savages.
Let me tell you one more thing too, that which is deep, that a lot of people maybe they understand and hear it, but they not really taking it to heart, right? The people that are actually outside, like let's say there's not just one matrix, there's levels of matrices. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's the savage level, like you said, is the picks, and then there's levels above that and levels above that and levels above that. Don't think that because the most savage level is unprepared, the most hand to mouth level is unprepared and doesn't know what to do, that it ain't other levels above you that got shit laid out, man. I'm talking about for the next, that already got bunkers full of shit.
Oh yeah, ready for the next
Land,
phase.
land laid out, farming. A lot of if you know anything about Central and South America,
Them
most of the
doom preppers.
well, not just doom preppers, because if you really look at it, the farmers, the plantation owners that have kept this shit in their family, those are not just like anybody. Those are learned people. Those are people that have higher knowledge, and they marry their seeds together and keep shit all in the family, all in a certain type of culture, so that it's ready for resiliency when shit hit the fan. You know, they gonna be whoever got the food and whoever been doing this, they gonna be good. And they, you know what I'm saying, and they adjusting accordingly and been adjusting accordingly for a very, very long time. Even
Right.
if you look at the shift of power now, because it's this weird thing that happens in the United States, right? We always looking at shit in a sucker way, where we like, oh man, the Chinese is over there, fucking the Africans over. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like Nigerians and certain African cultures, outside of them warring with each other and fighting and battling with each other at the point now where they have peace in a lot of these jurisdictions, those are some slick mother effers, yo. Like I said, you'll have a prince and a king driving you around in an Uber and go back home and shit be laid out on some Wakanda royalty type level and shit, with land holdings and everything. That's what we're not understanding about royalty. To us, it's just a name and image. Around the world, you're not a king and you're not royal if you don't got land and assets to prove who you are. You ain't just a king. You a king of this degree, of this grade, because of how much land you got, how much assets you got, you know, how long it's been in the family, how many wars the men in your family fought. You know what I'm saying? How many wise people the women in your family have brought out of their wombs and shit. Like, people are not understanding it. There's an evaluation system that the average people is not privy to, because they running around looking at white man's Disney and shit, thinking that shit is real, and not really understanding what makes a king, what makes a queen, what makes a lord, a landlord. You can't be a lord if you ain't got land and ownership over something, jurisdiction over something that assures your sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why they do shit a certain way, why they choose certain people to marry, and all the shit that the regular people hate about what they call the quote unquote elitist, that's the fucking cultural way. They learned that from the indigenous people of the planet Earth. You ain't supposed to just mingle with anybody and mix your seed with anybody and put your shit to the point, like have your sons and daughters out there running wild, or where they'll meet somebody that'll take half of the fucking fortune that took generations to build up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, sometimes we'll be so down in the dirt. Sometimes you gotta back up off this shit, man. That's what meditation and observation is really about. It's about backing up off the shit that you in. They call it getting out of the muck and the mire. You know what I'm saying? The people that walk the sands know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, the muck and the mire make you crazy, like a animal where you never see what the fuck is really going on until you back up off of it, start taking a breath, meditating, and really watching the system, so you really see what's going on. You know, when you in that point of survival, hand to mouth, you're gonna do all kind of dumb shit that don't make no sense as far as on a human intellectual level.
But see, Zero, I got a problem because I'm pretty sure I have the glasses that Gregory was talking about.
Mhm.
So when you talking, yeah, and when somebody says something. So Dick Gregory said two things that always stuck out to me. Dick Gregory says about the glasses, and Dr. Umar said something.
Slow down,
Okay.
right here. Have you seen the movie They Live?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
those glasses.
Okay.
Yes.
So those glasses and Dr. Umar's African problem solving, the way Africans solve problems, like they don't solve problems from if we look at a tree and the tree is growing crooked, he's like, we don't look at the branches at the top. We start from the root and go up. So Africans usually are talking from the root, and then we figure out the rest of the situation. But we start from the beginning of the situation. The matrix, once you find the beginning, the rest of that unravels just as easy as anything else does. It doesn't really matter. It's like, now every argument sounds like when you argue with a female and she's being manipulative. It's like, I caught you sucking dick when I came in the house. And she goes, well, you don't give me no attention. That ain't got nothing to do with dick in your mouth. Like,
Hold on.
but you could go to that.
Reiterate that one more time very clearly what you said about Umar, because as you said it, it's a whole nother, man, it's a wild thing going on. And let me tell you, right, when you interpreting shit from the eye of the oppressed, you're not gonna see shit for fully what it is. That's why if anybody really want to know about Africa, I implore you to make friends with the people that you look down upon, that actually have kingship, some type of control and formation over there, so that they can really expose you and drop some real science on you. The first thing I'll say, like, and people don't like this about my stance, is that Dr. Umar is not a scholar of a lot of the shit that he's talking about, in my opinion, because he doesn't lay out a pedigree. It's all based on what he thinks and delusional shit that was written in books by somebody else who might have had the access and might be able to take you deeper, but he just telling you what he read in a book. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's fair enough.
Now, let me give you one example. Just one example, right? Just one example, right? Like, there's an argument I can see that they're trying to generate some bullshit between quote unquote foundational Black Americans and anybody who they perceive as an outsider. One of the arguments that they generating is that they like UK actors better than American actors. And I beg to differ, because I've seen the flow. Africa, not especially where they choosing most of the actors that they choose and have certain ties to specific countries that have some kind of weight and connection, or where it's valuable to make a deal with them. You know, we don't look at shit right. We think it's all about, because I'm a Black man and because somebody looking down on them. You got to really understand that slavery was to sever you from your royalty, your royal connections. That's why they did it. They wanted to create a chimera, or a being that didn't have any of these connections that they could rule over and use as just pure labor and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a robot.
Yeah.
You know, now they got robots, and the slave that they made no longer have no value, and people are feeling a certain type of way. But these decisions aren't being made of why people are saying these decisions are being made. You know, when you
Nah,
say Dr. Umar, my first instinct is fuck Dr. Umar. You know what I'm saying? Trying to teach about what Africans or indigenous people with certain type of root, and go to the people and see that they don't have a system like you have. They're not based on white man's debate and democracy. They have verb sticks where a man can sit and get his shit out clearly. That Umbaka shit that you see in Wakanda is all delusional, man. That's not how civilized people in Africa and indigenous nations carry out and govern themselves. They don't be screaming and hollering. And I'm talking about real decisions. I'm talking about intergenerational decisions and shit. Most of the wars and things that you seen come about are because somebody else comes in and instigates and overlaps land, rights, assets. You understand? Like in convolutes certain shit that is like a testament of their royalty or their lineage, and then they get to fighting over it and shit. But again, that's somebody else's valuation. And I have to say that Umar, man, he be coming from some bullshit in my opinion, because I never see him with the people that he talking about.
Fair enough. My point of bringing that up was to look at a problem from the root and not from anything else first. So that's the reason why I said that. So whether that's an African thing or not doesn't even matter. Like that's cool. But the way you see stuff,
the root is the misevaluation, though. That's what the root is.
Well, nah, because if I got a problem with a building, right? If I got a problem with a building, then if I blow up the foundation of the building, then I ain't got to worry about the rest of the floors. I ain't got to worry about security on the 18th floor because I blew up all the foundation. So as long as I can deal with the foundation and understand that enough to where I can get it to come down, the rest of the building don't concern me.
So now, you know, knowing that, because that's tactical and I can dig that. Knowing that, okay. Let's properly pinpoint what the foundation is, because I think
that's what I was getting to.
We got it fucked up.
Right, so that's what I was getting to. So when you say matrix levels and all of that, that's cool and that's true, but if we deal with us and stop dealing with all the rest of that stuff, if we dealt with us, and I ain't gonna say it's gonna happen, but dealing with us, but for 50 years would fix all our problems. It would we have to worry about. It would be so much less of a worry about what they got going on if we dealt with us, because us is where the problem is. The first level of the matrix is making us fight down the street versus fighting a couple zip codes up. But we'll never get together enough if we keep on looking at each other the way we look at each other. So the rest of it don't really. So like you said, when you take them times out for yourself, and it's too much media to where people sending you too many times, cops fucking with people that they ain't got no business fucking with, or dealing with people the wrong way, or dealing with regular people like they savages. You can't keep watching cops slam women on the ground and all types of stuff like that. And you just like, I need a break from this. That's the point. You take your break and you deal with your immediate, and stop trying to save the world when your bed ain't made.
All right, so look, as the oppressed, right? The white man or the people that oppress you are a representation of a culture, a cultivation, a science, or a technology. All right. So let's go beyond that, because what you're saying is real and I understand that. But now you gotta get on the mothership and raise up to a whole nother level of what it really is. You understand? Because it's not how we deal with each other. It's not how we now, even like the way that we interpreting shit now, talking in English and the culture that we coming from, is the white man's valuation and shit. So that's why a lot of times we end up going to that to figure out foundation. But if you want to know the foundation of the world's trouble, it's called diabolics. Dios, balus, diablo, right? Some people think it's a cartoon. Some people think it's a force that's against God. That shit is a technology. It means God of rebellion. until people realize that the devil is a god, I'm talking about a God made in perfection that's part of a system to weed out the weak. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to always be in the predicament that they in because they looking at it from an angle of where they think is something that it's not. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not going against you. I'm saying that, like, yo, dude, what we thinking as the foundation from this fucking limited, think about it like this. Our development is arrested, dude. So pretty much most of the shit that we think it is not what it is. It's not what's holding us down. But there are certain representatives that represent that diabolic nature and that diabolic energy and shit. There's two levels of devil, man. And I'm telling you some higher. You're gonna see this again if you study and get into to other roots and knowledge that's above religion and shit. The devil is this. This is what devilishment is. It's two polarities. It's a cold polarity. That's Shaitan, Satan. You know what I'm saying? It's numb. It's frozen. It's inactivity. It's like that fear you get when you frozen and don't know what to do. That's Shaitan. The other angle of the polarity is Lucifer. That's heat. That's fire. That's emotion. That's always into something and shit. That's an engine that's going on in its perfection that if you are really what you're supposed to be and really dealing with yourself the way that you need to deal with yourself and dealing with higher information and avoiding a lot of the bullshit, you won't even come in contact with that technology and that energy and that science and shit. That's the root of all the problems and shit. But what we like to do is we like to perceive ourselves as higher than we are. Again, that's envy. That's us looking at somebody and because he put the clothes on and we think, I'm gonna go through the degrees and put the clothes on, I'm gonna have the same knowledge and standing that he has and shit. Not really understanding and appreciating on why he's a wise man. In indigenous culture, our fathers, our mothers, our aunts and uncles was all a part of it wasn't just us. All of that shit was something that's taken into account and we had accountability on all of those levels and we moved accordingly and shit. The reason why we not now is because we evaluating somebody else's system or where they all about fools and dudes. Study the history of the United States, man. It's all about debate and motherfuckers shooting each other down in the street because they ain't like what other people said. But we too dumb to understand that it's not what was rooted in our culture. That's them motherfuckers, and we learn from them.
Well, you get what I'm saying? Like you're saying, it's like when I do stuff, it is usually tactical. So when we're talking like this, I'm looking at it like it's not how many people you shoot that matters. It's who you shot. Mm-hmm. So when I'm talking to the brother and we go from religion to our children, it's like, yeah, me and you are old enough to understand that there is a problem. But knowledge is only power if you use it. So how do we deal with the problem? I stop looking at you a certain way. Me myself. So when my kids see me look at another black man and they kids might be frowning, my kids won't be. They see me get up and go to work, they do something every day.
Most people don't like the answer to that because it's very simple. It's leave the devilishment alone. But then what we start doing is creating all kind of barriers and systems in our brain because of our programming on why it will be hard to do that. One of the greatest, I would venture to say, I'm talking about real scholar, one of the last, and some of the last greatest scholars in Black culture in the United States was brought up in one-room schoolhouses for their primary and good part of their secondary education. John Henrik Clarke is somebody that comes to mind when I think about that, thinking that level. That's somebody that had the poise, the information, the knowledge, you understand? But his knowledge wasn't just limited to where he came from, the streets he was on. His knowledge was what Freemasons call light. You know what I'm saying? Like he in order for him to get that way and to be able to transfer those levels of information, he had to raise higher and throw himself in experiences that most of us are not willing to do. We not, like, most people not willing to be sovereign or to step up and say, yo, I'ma handle this. You know what I'm saying? The whole argument between black man and black woman is because both the motherfuckers is like shirking their responsibilities and shit. It's not because it's really a problem. It's because you got two lazy motherfuckers that don't want to do what they gotta do to get to where we gotta get to. And if you had two people that wasn't lazy, that really wanted to do that shit, or maybe 3 and 4, you know what I'm saying? If you had a certain type of family or household and certain type of knowledge and way of being and shit, you can do miraculous shit. You know what I'm saying? I lived in a household for years until I got to the point of raising my children on where I had multiple women, multiple mates, and we was all working together, doing the shit that we had to do and moving forward, staying on task and carrying out our mission. You know what I'm saying? But the average black man will tell you, I can't do that, or else this bitch who got no knowledge gonna kill me. Well, get the fuck away from her. She don't have the knowledge to do what is necessary. And that's what it is. We don't want to leave behind the people that we gotta leave behind. We want to take everybody with us.
Well, that's the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice part of it. And I would appreciate what's your idea on this? Is if you didn't use the word knowledge, but the will to do. Because you could know every damn thing, and your TV still be sitting on the floor.
Well, I'm only saying knowledge because we talking in two different tones. When I say knowledge, every traveling man in the room know what I'm talking about, because I told you what it really was.
I know what you mean. I'm just saying, like when you.
So, but I'll do that for you.
Just because you know the sacrifice of applying what you know, because it is going to be that. Some people, like you say, when you say forget it, I'm gonna feed myself and shelter myself and not depend on no government to do that. That's basically what you give up when you say you're gonna feed yourself and clothe yourself and house yourself for yourself, to find a mate that's in a city, let's say a city setting, that's willing to give up all of the comforts and the convenience, that's gonna sit on the farmland with you, that's gonna be a struggle. And when you figure out that most people say they willing to do it, most women that say they willing to do it, or people, I guess say women, just women, but most people is willing to say they go do it and then sit out in the sun for 12 hours, they're not willing to do that and be moving and working. They're not willing to go through the sacrifice of knowing this is going to be better in the long run. They would rather just sit in the city.
I understand what you're saying, and let me share this with you, my young brother, because I understand what you're saying very clearly. The will. Let me tell you about the will, right? The will can be the will can be worked on. It can be reduced. It can be taken away because of hardships that will be made much more easier with knowledge. I'll just put it that way, or with light. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand what you're saying, because what you're saying is really true. And a lot of the devilishment is that we gotta fucking weed through semantics to try to figure out a higher way of communicating with each other where there's no misconception about what we're talking about. And I understand fully what you're saying, but in the same sense, I've seen people come with all the will and because this is something that happens a lot nowadays. You got a lot of these crystal people that's just into tarot cards and shit and don't even know the connection. They don't know the roots of it. You know what I'm saying? They don't know none of that. They just got something that was printed by somebody else and relayed to them by somebody else who put a value on it, you know what I'm saying, and changed the original thing, and they have no access to the original roots or ground of what it is, to the point of where you don't even fucking need no card or bullshit like that to do it. You know what I'm saying? The original people
Yeah,
was
for
using
real.
sticks and stones. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like I get it, but then what they do is they come with the will, and that shit is beaten down because they come with a lack of knowledge on what it takes to maintain, or even the basic knowledge of what liberty is. That's why I went to democracy and the United States and what it's supposed to be and who established it and shit. Religious people didn't do it. Educators didn't establish the United States. Learned men of a certain stature and a certain type of knowledge and discipline that was all rooted into older cultures is who established that. And if you're not tied into that, in anything you do, if you talking about you African and you not tied into the culture that you practicing of your free will in the United States, whether it's Yoruba, Akan, different types of forms of Islam, Sufism, there's a whole Islamic culture that people don't even know about, where the root of it is brothers with dreads and shit. It don't have nothing to do with pale Arabs and the bullshit that they proclaiming. It's like root African knowledge, Timbuktu, Dar es Salaam. If you don't have that knowledge, you know what I'm saying, you don't even have the compass to point you into the position, you know what I'm saying, to know how you got to travel and your destination.
Okay, slow down. Give us links to that. Give us links and access to these people.
Well,
if you can. Where we can find this.
I personally, I'm dropping it like a machine gun. Anything that I'm dropping right now, you can do searches, you can Google any of the words that I'm saying. That's why I'm saying the words, and and pull up extensive histories on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like this man, I hate seeing our people get fooled and shit, and that's why knowledge is important. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of brothers that get into Islam thinking there's no racism in Islam until they
figure out
until they already dedicated and took their shahada and all like super connected into it, just as to the degree that they was connected to Christianity or whatever religion they coming from, just to find out it is Islam. I mean, it is racism in Islam. Muhammad was a black man. You know what I'm saying? The rights of Islam, the deep shit about the rights of Islam and the what do they call it? The caliphaship of Islam is that it went through a woman by the name of Aisha, the daughter of Muhammad.
Okay, stop right there. Let's stop you right there. That's a whole nother goddamn show. And ladies and gentlemen, what a show we have had today. So deep that if I keep going, we'll be here 9-10 more hours. And I would love that. But I must discipline myself to cut this shit off. Is it my fault the people I deal with is dope? Is it my fault that the subjects we do here is dope? It is not. But the time draws nigh. The whole point, to bring this back home if I can, is check yourself and check the shit others are around you are on. Check the shit that others are around you are on. Measure people by what they do with criticism, positive and negative. That's the shit to look for. Stay high in thought. Stay high in deed. Guide your ignorance to your wisdom. Pull out of the gravity of the stupid. Sisters, find your peace. Brothers, find your majesty. It is your Uncle Jeff, and I'm out.